My name is Aaron Lowe. I'm a Magenic Senior SQL Server Consultant out of the Chicago office, and today we're going to take a look at the SQL Server 2008 Policy-Based Management. This demonstration will be using the February 2008 CTP of SQL Server. As we open up SQL Server Management Studio and connect to our instance, you'll notice that there is a red X next to the instance name. There's also a red X next to the databases node. And as we drill down, there's a red X down to the demo DB that we're going to be using today. This red X indicates that a policy that's been defined is currently being broken. So as we drill down, it will identify the individual object or objects that are breaking that policy. Now, as we just logged in, we don't know what policy we're breaking, so we can right-click and go to View Policies. And this will bring up the policy store procedure naming convention that we're breaking. We can look at our history here. We can reevaluate. It'll show us the last time we evaluated it. In the history, we'll go to our summary, and again, it'll show us the last time that we evaluated, and we can even click on the details. Now, the details will show us the individual policy that's being broken. The individual condition that's being broken. And it shows a field name. The expected value should be like USP, where we have the actual value as SP. So in the description, adhere to naming conventions, and you even can get additional help. Please see naming conventions at, and this is information that you can put in. So we go back out here, and we can rename it to adhere to our naming conventions. Now you'll see that the red X has not been updated yet. That's because the policy has not been run again. So we can go to Management, Policy Management. You can do this through this as well, through the policies here, Evaluate, but I did want to show you where the actual policies are stored. So we can click Evaluate this policy, and you'll notice that everything passed, the two store procedures that we had. And then we come back up here and refresh. And you'll see that it's gone. It still is at the instance level. If you notice, that's a little bit of a bug in the current CTP, that when you click refresh, it doesn't refresh the instance itself, it just refreshes the child nodes. But as you'll see, the store procedure is cleared. Now, if you wanted to define a new policy, you would go under Management, Policy Management. You'll notice there's three nodes: facets, conditions, and policies. Facets are those things that you can define a condition on: the application role, the store procedure, and so on. Conditions are the actual conditions. So we can create a new condition here and say table name, naming convention. And we can go down to table. Say that, again, these are our options on what we can create a condition on. These were our facets. So the name, let's say, is equal to table 1. We can put in some description here. I forgot my single quotes. And OK. So that creates the condition. We still have to create a policy that includes that policy. So a new policy. And we can name it anything we would like. We choose our check condition. Ensure it's enabled. We can enable it in every database, but I don't want to do that. I'm just going to do it in our database. Now here's the options you have for executing. You can do it on demand, which means you have to run it manually, per schedule, and they have some preset schedules there for you. On change only, so when you actually change the name or create a new one, it'll write to the log, or on change prevent. Now, the previous policy we had was on change log only. That's how we saw it in the history. I'm going to do an actual prevent here to give you an example of what it's going to look like. And again, you can enter in some description there. So back to our demo database. And I'm going to create table 2. And we execute. And here's our error. It did not let us create this because it did not adhere to our policy. So if we create that to table 1, execute again, it went successfully. Conditions and policies can be set on database level, object level, as well as server level. Again, the facets are each of the things that you can create a policy around. I hope you enjoyed this overview of policy-based management in SQL 2008, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this screencast.